and these ships take on contraband goods that have been ordered in advance. Such operations are always planned ahead of time. Contraband goods that are planned in advance. During the operation, it takes the safest routes. Why? Because the military have the opportunity to make huge millions instantly. Millions of dollars by claiming that the warehouses were supposedly bombed. That is, you send your goods to the YUZHNY port. Let's say your goods are there, for example. Well, I don't know if they're actually there or if they just arrived. But you think they're in your warehouses? In a matter of days, they were taken from the warehouses and loaded onto ships. And then those warehouses were bombed. Just to show you that you've lost your goods. What interesting news. The United States has refused to normalize relations with Russia, but Trump and Putin are friends. They're practically like relatives even. And Trump is basically like our Fedya from the KGB. But yes, Russia doesn't want relations now. Or maybe it's the US that doesn't want them. There are no specific dates. The US has refused to hold talks with Russia about normalizing relations until spring. Russia and the US have held another round of negotiations. On the removal of irritants in bilateral relations, however, they were unable to make progress on the main issues and postponed the next meeting for several months. Moving on. This was reported by Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabkov. And that's him, the Deputy Foreign Minister. Because I was starting to think, well, it seemed like Lavrov had flown off somewhere to Putin's new lands. And if you see something virtual somewhere, well, by all means, go ahead and watch it. So that's the Deputy Ryabkov, right? The main issues remain unresolved. And I think it will be necessary. Additional effort will be needed, possibly even impulses at the political level to move forward, said Ryabkov in a completely uninteresting way. Do you feel it? Life is arranged differently, but they keep trying to show on the same old wavelength that something is still moving. The United States doesn't want negotiations. When will that war with the United States happen? When will the United States bomb Russia? We don't know. But it will happen, friends, it will happen, don't worry. After all, in the 1950s, when World War II ended, the United States bombed the Far East, Sukhaya Reshka, the airport. All the airfields were bombed, the United States was bombing. Why, you might ask, would the United States be bombing the Far East, right? Well, why indeed? Did you know about this in the 1950s? No. You only found out about it in the 1990s. For 40 years you knew nothing about it. That the United States bombed Uelkal, Chukotka, where I lived, in 1951. Did you know about that? Chukotka was bombed? No, you didn't know. And nobody knew about it. Even if a bomb did fall somewhere, who would tell you about it? That could only be felt in Chukotka. Such a big boom, right? The ground shakes. But in Moscow they didn't feel it. And if they didn't feel it in Moscow, then it means nothing happened. That's the principle you live by. If I didn't see it, if I didn't feel it, then it didn't happen. Well, it's the same here with these so-called negotiations with the United States. What are they for? What kind of negotiations are these? We don't know. But just to show some kind of activity as if... So, supposedly there were some negotiations, but now they couldn't reach an agreement and postponed them until spring. You know, all the real deals are made directly between Putin and Trump. And as for what happens in between, let the dead fish flop its tail on the concrete or on the sand. But that's how we can assess the work of our foreign ministry today. Because the foreign ministry has no work and there won't be any. Don't even think about it. What for? Who is there to work and what is there to work on? Only those who are just keeping up appearances, so to speak, are working. They're the ones doing something over there, just so that there are embassies. Although, as far as I can tell, all the embassies have been downsized. But still, 3 regions of Ukraine were left almost completely without power after a massive Russian strike. Whether it was Russian or the Ukrainians themselves struck, that's also possible. On the night leading into Tuesday, for the third time in December, Russia launched a massive combined strike on Ukraine, almost completely cutting off electricity. 3 regions. According to the acting Minister of Energy of Ukraine, Artem Nekrasov, as of the morning of December 23rd, large-scale outages were recorded in the Rivne, Ternopil and Khmelnytsky regions in the west of the country. In addition, partial blackouts occurred in the Vinnytsia, Chernihiv, Zhytomyr, Donetsk, Dnipropetrovsk and Kharkiv regions. In the Odessa region, as a result of a series of attacks on the region's energy infrastructure, a significant number of consumers remain without power, as noted by the head of the department. Since the beginning of the war, Moscow has attacked facilities more than 210 times, resulting in 59 energy workers. Many were wounded and 4 were killed. That's what's reported. Well, wounded, killed. You know, for example, when it's your own people, I'm just giving an example, you understand, I'm explaining your own. When Ukrainians bomb, when they drop some of their own UAVs and munitions, and it's clear that they're Ukrainian. And here the energy workers start protesting and saying, oh, wait, these are our people, these are our own, but they'll survive, right? That's it. That's what life is like today. So as for, by the way, there was an interesting situation with the YUZHNY port in Odessa, which was bombed. There was a big article about it. I happened to look there by chance. They bombed it with precision. Precisely. That's how they bombed it. All the ships belonging to foreign companies are intact. Absolutely all of them are unharmed. Not a single ship was hit. In other words, it was a precision job. Let me explain why. For those who don't understand why this was done, it's necessary. Why was the YUZHNY port bombed? There are many ships with valuable cargo in the YUZHNY port. Goods also arrive by rail. More goods keep coming in. And some goods are supposedly unloaded into warehouses. So here's what happens under this pretext. Look at how cleverly this can be done. They clear out all the goods that were in the warehouses and those that were on the railway. They load everything onto the ships that are just sitting there, yes, but those ships are empty. And these ships take on illicit goods that were ordered in advance. Such operations are always planned in advance. Illicit goods. The ones that are planned? The entire operation meticulously takes the absolute safest and most secure routes. Why is this the case? Because the military forces have a significant and immediate opportunity to make huge, substantial millions of dollars right away by falsely claiming that their valuable warehouses were supposedly and tragically bombed. Therefore, you should confidently send your precious goods and valuable cargo to the strategically important YUZHNY port. Let's say they're just sitting there. Well, I don't know, maybe they're just sitting there or maybe they just arrived. But you think your goods are still in the warehouses. In reality, they were taken from the warehouses in a few days, loaded onto ships, and then the warehouses were bombed to make it look like you lost your goods. It's all very easy. You don't even need to be a fortune teller to see it. It's such a primitive scheme. So that's how it is. The owners of goods shipped from Odessa, from the YUZHNY port, none of your goods have burned. All your goods are on ships that will soon depart and be sold. But you'll be told that your goods, your flour, your grains, everything that's being sold now have all burned. So you end up taking the loss. But what kind of loss is it really? After all, your goods should be insured as well. If you're a smart and responsible owner, you insure your goods. Insurance will cover everything for you, so there's no need to complain. I assume you've taken care of that as well. And those who are stealing your goods, the warehouse workers, the port workers, together with the military, and sending them off, they also know you have insurance. They haven't really ripped you off that much. You can share a little. As our unforgettable Chernomyrdin used to say, blackface Chernomyrdin, huh? We need to share. We need to share. Share. Or who do we have? Medvedev spoke. I already forgot. There is such corruption all around. And there are so many cunning people that you forget which one it was and who said it. A vivid expression. Today, December 23rd, 2025, I am Tanya Karatsubasid Burha. Don't let yourself be fooled.